So following from the previous, we had already cropped the images into a smaller size so that it'll be easier for us to save each of these images separately. So this is where it gets very interesting, and from Photoshop we will move into Illustrator to form the cover we want for our book binding. Okay, so here goes. We're going to save each image. To start that off, we're going to turn each one off, go into File, and we're choosing to save for web. The reason why we're saving for web is because you want these images to come with a transparent black background. And for that, you will be using PNG for your optimization, your saving format. So as you can notice, you can actually see the details saved. And this comes when you make sure that your file that you are using is scanned. Only a scanner is able to pick up such simplified and exact details as you can see here. So I've got this one piece. I'm going to save it. And as you can already see, I have saved several of my pieces already. So I have done the shortcut way. You can save it, and later on, we are going to turn each and every one of this to be used in Illustrator. So I'll see you there shortly. Okay guys, so now we are in Illustrator. So we already know that we want our background or our book to be around or within the size of an A4. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new file, and we're going to create it at an A4 with a and a horizontal setting. Horizontal. Remember, you have portrait and horizontal. I like to work on inches, so I'm going to move it onto inches. Most importantly would be the color mode. My printer only prints on CMYK, and so I'm going to use this here. I'm going to retitle this to book cover. And okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the images that I used earlier, and I'm going to use place. Here's my file. It's all under Cacti. So I've created 6 different images. Quite strange that one would turn out like that. I'm going to select all and place. So you'll notice that it comes out as very big, and it's nice because that means I don't have to just expect this to work with only A4 size. I can work with an even bigger space. I can work with an A3 space, and even at this size, I can even use it for an A2 size piece of paper. So I'm going to resize it a bit. Hold down Shift to maintain your size. Okay. And I'm going to go in and place another piece. Okay, do bear in mind we're going to turn this into a little patented background. So place another one more. I'm going to use all my favorite pieces that I had already taken from earlier. Leave that there. And 2 more pieces to take in. A little round piece. I can always resize them, so I'll resize them a bit later. And 1 more left. There we go. Oh, this is quite big, so bring it. And make it a bit smaller. Okay, so I have all my pieces here. And at the moment, they have not been embedded. What I'm going to do is I want to create a really covered background with all my cactuses, these 5 pieces of cactuses, all in a repetitive manner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really move all these pieces to the outside for now. Okay, make sure they're not there. And each and every one of them, I'm going to embed them. What it means to embed is to make sure that the image stays within the image, within the file, so that when someone else decides to open it, or when you decide to go to a printer, you're not going to hear the usual, hey, your images are gone. Your images were not linked. The whole reason is because you did not embed it in the very first place. The beauty of this is, let me show you the difference between an embedded image and a non-embedded image. I'm selecting one piece here and another piece here. You will notice that in common, they have an X right in the center. By selecting this and pressing the word embed, the image disappears, which means to say the X means this image is not going to disappear at all. Whereas these images which have not been embedded, they are going to disappear. So let's do that before we actually lose them all. I've got these pieces here, embed, and embed. Okay, so these pieces are here now. To kickstart it, I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to copy them, because what's going to happen next is that I'm going to work with one piece here, right smack in the center, make it a bit smaller, and I am going to create a pattern. Okay, so a new pattern has been added. Click OK. All of it is here. Paste. Oh wow, so many pieces there. Reason being, your images are very big at the moment. So if you wanted to go as big as your A4, the larger the better kind of thing, you just need to increase the size of your blue box that you see in the center there, and your images can be resized within it. See how suddenly the image has decided to change? It's because you have decided to change how you want it to look like. So I want it to be properly within the size itself. So just make it a little adjustment here and there. And I'm going to start off first by moving these little babies on the inside. I'm going to put them up and around. This one, probably put it here so that it actually has that overlapping effect. This little mama, I'm going to put it on the top, bring to the front. Yeah, so it has a nice little spread going around. This one goes here, and not that one. Can't seem to select that piece. Gonna have to go around slowly. Okay, there I got her. Now you can always copy another piece by holding down alternate, making it a bit smaller, turning it around, and fitting it to fit within the space that you're giving itself, including this itself. I find this quite big. I sort of like it being big as well. So put that there, but I want it to go underneath. So right click, send to back. It's just a bit too much there. Okay, there it goes. Drag it out a bit. And maybe this one comes here. Maybe we'll just bring it down by 9 inches. Oh, that looks much neater. It has a certain aesthetic to it. So I'm going to play with the whole brick effect or hexagon. Now this is what I was looking for. A kind of feel where you have it spread out, but it's still very nicely spread out. So I just want all my pieces to not be too big yet obstructive. Just going to resize them. Nope, not like that. Move them up a bit. Still not what I was looking for. Probably has to move certain stuff here and there. So I get that nice spread. Yeah. See, I'm a little biased. I love certain type of cactuses, so I tend to use them quite a bit. Okay, so it now has a very nice spread on the screen itself because it's being repeated. So you know, you have a basic idea of how it's going to look on your paper itself. You see over here itself, you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to rename it as succulents and done. So what happens next is that we're going to move this piece out to this corner here and make a nice border. Just slightly so that you have it a little edge out. And there you have a very simple border just made simply like that. And with that, you have a repetition, widely spread. You have your watercolor effect being thrown onto the piece of paper. So what happens if you want something a little bit on the background? Hey, you still can play a little bit more. Click Appearance and open up Add New Fill. Bring that to the bottom bit and let's change it a bit. Maybe we want to have a little pattern at the bottom. So I'm going to use a little basic graphics and I'm going to use maybe dots. Hey, it has a little English effect to it. Maybe not so much. That's not a bad idea as well. Well, it's up to you what you're trying to find, what you're trying to feel. For me, I'd prefer it without it. But I like to play with it. So I'm just going to leave it as nothing. Most cases, if you don't need it, just throw it. if you like it the way it is. So I like it the way it is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this piece, save as, and I'm going to save it as a PDF in here itself because I'm going to set it out to print to be used in our next exercise. So save PDF. Nevertheless, it doesn't stop me from wanting to print it. So I can give you a basic idea of how it looks like once it's printed. Now this is one of the ways that you can use to create your patterns. You can also use other type of things like painting simple triangles, squares, even circles to create this kind of an effect. But hey, it's up to your own imagination and your own exploration. So here's a little exploration on my part in sending it to print. See how it looks? Oh, it looks so beautiful. I'm gonna print it, and my printer is there. Print. Okay, so that's it for this side. I'll see you in the next session.